What's up, everybody? Welcome to a special edition of Inside the Box with CJT Creations. I am CJ, and I'm glad to see you. I'm glad you can see me. I'm glad that you're listening to me. Big day today for sure. We have the Valentine's Day special. Not really Valentine's Day, but really just talking about love and expectations and so many more things that we're going to be talking about, honestly, today. And I'm super excited just for you guys to hear the different responses. The question that we were talking about and the question that I brought up for discussion was, do men and women have different perceptions of love? And I've had some uncomfortable situations. I've definitely been in uncomfortable situations, and they were uncomfortable, to say the least. But there were conversations that I've had that I thought was really good. I think it led to really good, healthy dialogue with some of my friends, and I wanted to get different perspectives with different from people who are in different aspects of their life, and I got some good answers. So here you go. Here, check out what I found out from my friends what their perception of love is.
I mean, I think overall everyone experiences love differently. I don't think there's one definition of love. And I think that love is what you need to... This is hard.
Do you think that guys and girls' perception of love are different? Like, what is your perception of love?
As far as guys and girls, I think that it can be, because I think everybody's perception of love is different. So I'm not sure if it's a gender specific thing or a person to person specific thing, but it can just be very different to two different people. For me, my definition of love, it's irrational, no logic. It's wanting the best for somebody. And of course, it's wanting somebody to be happy. And of course, selfishly, you want to be the one to provide that happiness. Mm-hmm. But true love is accepting that if you can't, hoping that they can find it, even if it's with somebody else. That's love to me. Like, if you can let somebody go because you know that you're not what's going to make them happy, that's love. Okay. As we've discussed, you and I are big fans of Psych and James Rodriguez.
Is it Rode Rodriguez?
Rode Rodriguez. And what's the show he's in right now?
Oh, A Million Little Pieces, right?
A Million Little Things?
Little Things, that's it.
That's going to be my... Love is a million little things. It's a process. It's choosing someone day in and day out. Communicating when things aren't going well. Working to overcome outside influences. Giving yourself to the other person, knowing that at any day they could wake up and not feel the same way. So sacrifice, for sure. An emotional roller coaster. Some days are going to be good. You're happy. Some days you're sad. Some days you're mad. You're getting in fights. Like I said, that's where the communication comes in. It's big.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time for this, and especially a hard-hitting question like this, love, to spring on you like this, and you came up to the plate and knocked it out of the park. So I appreciate you.
Well, I tried. You my boy. I got to do what I can because I got love for you.
I got love for you. I mean, shit, like our friendship has lasted what, sophomore year high school or junior?
11 years?
That's what we first met, like, because you wasn't at K Bay in 9th grade.
Yeah, I was.
You was?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because we was okay, yeah, okay. So 9th grade. Yeah, that's right. Because I always think a year different because 8th grade. Because 8th grade I was at K Bay, but you wasn't at K Bay my 8th grade year. You were still at Faith.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, 4 plus 7 is 11 years. Damn. That's a long time.
Apparently only 10 to you.
Hey, because for me, I guess I'll help you warm up if that.
Okay, for sure.
Love is definitely. There's different levels to it, of course. You in love for someone, have love for someone. So my perception is it's kind of. Dang, I really wish I had my recording that I had with Jonathan because I said it perfectly and I can't remember. There's for me, there's small things that that it comes in the package of love. Just being with someone where you can just be there and not have to talk. That's love. There's
for sure.
Doing small things for someone because you know that it's going to make their day better, without you being asked, just because you're thinking about them constantly. There's not yes, there's this movie love. There's movie love that you see that's you do all this, PDA and extroverted things, that shows that I love him, blah da 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 da. But there's different levels to it, to where just because you don't show that grand gesture all the time, if you do a lot of small things, you do things that just make their overall life better, it's really that's important. But then also having love for somebody and understanding that I will always have their best interest in life. Whatever comes, I got them. I want to help them out with anything that comes up. There's different. There's different things, and I think there's kind of there's a lot of levels to it for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, you can be over exuberant and do this, do that, give it everything, but that's not the only definition of love for me.
Right. So. Well, I kind of feel I totally believe that one person can be in love with another person and not have those feelings reciprocated. But I also think a true form of love is when your needs are being met and your partner's needs are being met and you guys have harmony and you have peace in a relationship. Because love, I don't think, love conquers all. I think there's a lot of life stressors out there that interfere with most relationships. I mean, I feel like most people get divorced because of money problems or loss of a child. Love is not going to conquer all. But I think if you have those basic needs met, then that you together can grow as a couple and are able to conquer things better, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But when did she get there?
I'm not gonna lie, I lost track of what you were saying, and then you popped your head up, and she just
good point, Mom. Good point.
Whoa, what was that?
That's loud. I have no idea.
So I guess that's your kind of would you say that's your general consensus? Do you think they're different? What is your perception of different types of love?
Oh, I think platonic love is probably the most purest form of love, like 100%, because you don't have the expectations that you have when you're in a like relationship, like a dating relationship. When with friends, it's like you're legit there to enjoy their company and they make you feel good and you make them feel good. And there's some mutual like understanding that like we are giving all that we can give of each other and we love that of each other. But like I feel like relationships can get twisted and manipulated and expectations lead to disappointment, which then lead to like people breaking up. But I think platonic love is even could be stronger than like family love, because family love is kind of forced on you. like like if I met a family member on the street, would I fall in love with them and love them as much as I do now just because they're my family? Like, it's a forced love, not that it's a bad love, it's just different. But with platonic, you're choosing the people that you love, and there's no sex involved. There's nothing like that can get messy, and you still continue to grow your own life separately, which I think kind of generally makes people happier. I think when people try to mesh their lives together, it's not going to work. like, I don't think so. But yeah, I guess that's kind of my general thoughts on that.
Yeah. Going back to that family point, so I think okay, so yes, you definitely can't choose you can pick your boogers, but you can't pick your family, right? That's a saying. But I think also even still, I think it's a beautiful thing to, even though that you can't pick the people you with and still choosing to love them and love them for who they are, especially if they've done a lot of bad things or they've done good things. I think that's a really bold, like what is the word I'm looking for? I can't even think. It's just like, you have to really find it in your heart to love those people, even though especially if your family members have done you wrong, but they're still your family. They're your blood. You have something, a makeup that's similar.
Yeah.
And, hopefully in the best cases, you are alike in some ways to be able to kind of to grow from that, but yeah, it is, I guess you could say a random person you're stuck with that you don't really know. You kind of get put in the same boat, which I mean that also could be, you can grow in love just because you do have similar experiences. Same, if you have a same mother, same father, or both, or one of each, or even still you're still stuck in the same house, even if if you're adopted or something like that.
Yeah.
And choosing to love them or practicing to love your siblings is a big thing.
Well, it kind of sounds like what you're saying is like family love could be even stronger because you are forced into the situation. Well, not forced, but like you were born into the situation, and like even though you should have unconditional love for your family members, like having to keep working through those relationships and keep building that love, like it could, I guess, be stronger than your average love, I guess.
For sure, because I think really their family love, I think, is a jumping off point to love of other people and other, like, for relationships and friendships, because that's like you when you're first 6 years of your life or so, like you're with these people all the time, or whatever the first couple of years of your life, to where you kind of, your parents teach you, like they show you love, so you kind of unconsciously, you start gaining that what love is, or you're learning it, like unconditional love from your parents. You kind of start from that, and then you kind of build having a relationship with your siblings, if you're like a younger sibling, or like if you had a sibling at the time that you were early on born.
Yeah,
I think those early on interactions really grow your mental and grow that having that openness to be compassionate with others, and I think that can be beneficial or hindering, like, relationships going forward as well, especially with other people. And I think it starts with your family.
Well, also, I mean, I think a lot of people, they learn how to love because of the lack of love they received in their family. Like I feel like a lot of people are like, I never want a marriage like my parents. Like I want a more close knit family or like whatever it is.
Right.
But yeah, I think a lot of people learn that they're like, this is the kind of love I'm looking for in my life because I never got that from my family. So I think it go either way, you know?
It does. It's definitely a huge jumping point.
Yeah, it's just like depending on how you were raised and what environment you were raised in. And like, I think poverty would have a big effect on the kind of love you receive. If your parents are at work all the time, like they don't have time to sit down and like coddle you, which could make you like feel like you didn't receive the love you should have received. But I don't know. There's a lot of factors that can affect how you see love and how you want to be loved.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
That, I guess, more general state. What is your perception of love for, you know, your personal perception?
I think love is definitely being selfish and being giving at the exact same time. You have to be able to give when you love someone, but I think it's a true love, then you should be selfish at the same time for certain reasons, you know, whatever it is at the time. I don't know. Love's weird. Makes you all weird. Like,
No, I get you for sure. It's love will make you do things that you've never done before. Like, why am I doing this? This is weird, but this person makes me happy.
Right. But it's like, is that love? If someone just makes you happy, is that actually love? Hey.
I mean, happiness is a thing that can be really hard to attain and to get nowadays because, I mean, a lot of people aren't happy. But if you kind of have a source of happiness, no matter what state you're in, they can bring some sliver of hope or light into your life. That's something you have to covet and really keep and grasp at all costs.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta, because I mean, I think that's something that was kind of built into the Constitution is the pursuit of happiness. And so if you find someone who gives you some happiness that is beneficial happiness and real happiness, then that's something you have to really cherish. Because, I mean, you know, of course, there's a lot of things that can make you happy. Like, oh, my God, I love movies. Like, I'm not going to marry a movie.
Right.
It'll be interesting. But, you know, but someone who is like, okay, you know, like going back to what I said earlier, like small things. Like, you know, having a bad day, they bring my favorite meal, my favorite drink, or we just can drink and not talk, but have this, like, unspoken bond and understanding that, you know, I had a rough day, but I don't want to be alone, but I want to have someone there with me. And, just, you know, to, what's the right word? I'm just lost for words. Just to be there and to really just hit those notes that you need and understanding what song that you're singing that day.
Right.
Meaning just like, you know, this is a sad song. I'm having a sad day. But instead of trying to force other feelings on me, like they know exactly what it's going to take to get me out of this sad song to a mellow song or a happy song or any other feeling that's going to be beneficial to your happiness or your well-being.
For sure.
So, at least that's what I think. So,
well, I do think you have to be ready for love to truly have like a genuine good love with someone else, if that makes sense. Like if you're mentally not there, and even if you want to be there, but you're just like not prepared, or you have this idea of what you want, even though like reality will never give you that, then like I don't think you will have a genuine love that will last, because it's like you kind of have to be, it's like that stupid cliche, like you have to love yourself before you love someone else. Like I like truly believe in that. Because if you can't even stand yourself, like why would you be able to like work? I mean, relationships are hard. You have to constantly work at it. It's not just like, oh, we're in a relationship, now everything works out. Like it's a constant, like everyday struggle that you choose because you do love the person. So if you are not ready to do that, or if you want it so badly, but you know, you're just not prepared for it, then I just don't think it'll work out, you know?
For sure. Let me be devil's advocate here. Who is ready for love? Like, what does being ready for love mean?
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's just depending on per person, you know, on what they need and what they expect to get out of a relationship. I mean, everyone has different standards. Everyone has different expectations of what's going to make them happy. I mean, I guess I can speak of my own experience that like I'm definitely a lonely soul, but I like being by myself, but it's like what you were talking about. Like I want to be in comfortable silences with someone else and just being there with me, even if we're doing our own thing, you know? And I think I kind of felt I was ready for that when I did live by myself. And even though I had like friends and I was going to school and I was working, I did feel like a part of it was missing, that I wanted more. I wanted like someone to come home to, essentially. But yeah, I guess that was like what I needed. And once you realize you need something, like you're missing something, I think that's when it kind of clicks for you. Because relationships get messy when people think they love someone when they're just like have lust for someone and they're just sleeping together, but they get confused. But I don't know. Our generation's different. There's so many different definitions in terms of what affection is and what love is that you could never put it into like a single definition of what it is, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I'm all over the place right now.
Okay. No, I mean, you're not alone. Like this is a tough subject. It's not like a right answer for this. I don't believe.
Yeah.
Like, there's a right answer for each individual, what they feel like is a right answer. So, you know, that's why I wanted to talk to multiple different people, especially in different phases of life, because that is, you really kind of get a summary of different things. Like it's like, okay, for a person who's maybe, you know, in a long-term relationship, but not married, someone who's married and, you know, maybe early on marriage, someone who's like been married for a long time, you kind of see in different stages of people's life, you kind of get an idea of what love is to them. And then that can give anyone hope or any ideas so they can kind of start that conversation with themselves and possibly with the partner. I think that's kind of like my reasoning behind doing this, is just because it's just a conversation. You know, you learn so much from just having a conversation with somebody, and to learn and to understand how other people feel, because sometimes people don't ask those questions. Don't ask, how do you feel about this? They kind of just live in this gray area, live in this like not truly knowing, but have an idea of this is what they think. So having a conversation about stuff that's not easily conversationable, if that's, I don't think that's a word, but like,
I don't think it's a word.
Yeah, I mean, I'm making it a word, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, it's just really asking those questions that you feel like it's answered, but it hasn't been answered, if that makes sense.
For sure.
You know, just that, oh, you think this is how our love is, but then like, you never asked that question. So then how do you truly know? And it's kind of really opening that door and like, oh, wow, this is, oh, okay, all right, this is it. And you get that answer. And it can be scary to actually find out those answers. I mean, that's why you see so many people just live in this gray area, because it's safe. It's it's comfortable, and sometimes you have to be uncomfortable. I think being uncomfortable is a very beautiful thing, because yes, it stinks at times, but it also gives you answers. It gives you, I guess, moving points to be able to move from a situation to another situation, to get out of possibly a bad situation that you maybe thought it was bad, or maybe you didn't know it was bad. So, it has a lot of functions for sure. So,
well, I also think, going off of that, like, love is just, you can't define it, and it's just a feeling. It's just like a feeling that you will get that you have never felt before, or you have felt before, and it just, like, it's different, and you just know that this person is someone you need to keep in your life, like, no matter how or why, or and yeah, I think a lot of people maybe haven't felt that. They just watch the movies and they listen to songs, and they think, like, love is getting a good morning text or something like that. And for some people it is, but sometimes it's just like you're kind of going through the motions of what you think love's supposed to be, when at the end of the day, like, you'll never know until you have that genuine, true feeling that, like, oh, I'm in love with this person. Like, I would do anything for this person. They need to be in my life. Like, even if it is toxic, like, I feel like a lot of love can be toxic. Maybe sometimes that's the best love, because it's like you're so crazy for this person that maybe it's like the most genuine form of love. To all you crazy bitches out there, including myself.
For sure. I mean, I think there's times where, like, you think, oh, this love is toxic, but maybe it also matches your energy if you're willing to kind of be a part of it. So it also can be a mirror. Like, love could be a mirror to, like, who you are as well, maybe. Like, I don't know. It's a muddy situation. Okay. All right, now I remember. Love, it can start off as like mud and water, right? So it's mess, right? But then as you start to keep working on it, you start to get this clay, right? And then you got clay. So it's like, okay, so cool, I got something. So it's something. But then as you have this clay, you're trying to think, what can I do with this clay? And you start molding the clay to make a bowl, right? And you have this bowl to where it's like, okay, this is cool. Like, I can use this to put stuff in. And to build a strong barrier around, such as kids. And so you have this bowl that you made from the love of just water and dirt, and you got this bowl that can support kids or anything else. And I think that's kind of what love is, in a sense, because it starts off muddy, messy, don't really know what this is. And as you work on it, as you work, with it, it starts to form into something. Then you got something, and then you form it again into something else. So one of the final forms is to be able to support something that you created with, two people or multiple people, not judging what kind of life you live. And then, that bowl holds your kids, and maybe it has space for 2 kids, 3 kids, 16 kids, whatever you want. But then, from the love you started with, to be able to help nurture something else that's greater than just you two, I think it's kind of a beautiful thing. I found it there, and I delivered it.
Well, love definitely does not stay the same. Like, it is, like you said, like, it's constantly changing, and the love you think you want when you're 16 is, like, not going to be the love you want when you're 26. Your needs change, your mind's growing, you're developing, and you definitely you'll have different loves in your life. I think no one love is ever the same, I would say.
For sure. Yeah. I don't think we will want it to be that way, because, I mean, there's people who judge, like, oh, how do these two people match? Like, this person is 50 years old and she's 25. How does that work? Yeah. But it's, they satisfy what their meaning of love is. Exactly. And if they're happy and it's toxic, then who cares what outer forces say or think about it? If you guys are happy to have this, relationship that you really enjoy, then I think that's beautiful.
For
It's
sure.
a beautiful
Yeah.
thing.
Totally agree on that.
He's lost. Let me help out. Excuse me, babe. Let me help out.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Sub in.
We ain't even 2 minutes in the video.
Hi, Charles. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
Awesome. Unexpected sub in, but it's perfect.
Yes, good.
Okay.
So I think that yes, men and women have different perceptions, I think, of love. I think that, our brains are built differently. So I think that, we have different ideas of what, love looks like. And I think that we have different ways of expressing our love to other people. So yeah, I think that the short answer is yes.
What do you think? Like, give me some examples of, or at least either give me some examples of what you think other people might think love is, or give me your perception of love.
So my perception is really like unconditional is really what love is, just unconditional caring for other people. So maybe like an example would be that, if, somebody got mad at somebody else or somebody got upset with somebody else, then the other person is able to still love that individual, even though they might have gotten hurt or they might have gotten, upset at that person for whatever happened. And I think that love looks like, just being able to make sacrifices for other people, and being able to be selfless, I guess, in that way, and like trying to make sure that, your needs are being put aside for that other person. So that's kind of what my perception looks like.
Okay. I like that. Do you think love has multiple forms? And what I mean by that is like, love for like that's, for like a friend versus a lover versus like a parent. Do you think that love can be different, or is it all kind of the same?
I guess it's kind of both. Like in my, view, you can have unconditional love and make sacrifices and, have that forgiveness and, that all those elements I think are present in both, love for a parent and then love for, a husband or a wife or, a sibling or a daughter or a son, and I think that it just depends on how that is like communicated. So I think it's communicated differently. Like, I will communicate my love to my husband very differently than my parent. Right. So I think, obviously, things like sex and all that, kind of have to do with love, So I think that obviously I'm not going to, I'm only going to have sex with my husband and not, somebody else. You know what I mean? So
yeah. It'd be weird if it was your brother or something.
Serious real quick. You can come back, babe.
No, I got you. Yeah, I think that was awesome. That was a good. I like the way you summed that up for sure.
Thanks.
I'm trying to think if I had any follow-up questions to that.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh, okay, yeah. Flip the.
What's your perception of love? Like, what does it look like to you?
My perception of love is it's about showing and being there for someone, whether it's very minute or a grand gesture of love. I think, love is really weird. It starts off kind of, this is my analogy I said probably twice or three times now, but it kind of starts off as like dirt and water, right? Uh-huh. And so you start to mix that around, it's kind of weird, but next thing you know, you kind of, get to some clay. And then it's like, oh, okay, so we got clay now. And then you kind of start forming this clay, and then you start shaping it into a bowl. So then it's like, okay, so from dirt and water to clay to now I got a bowl. And like we're saying that love is changing, always changing. And then with this bowl that you form, you can use that to support others, such as like children. And then that kind of helps, grow and, that foundation of starting from like water and dirt to something grander and bigger. Yeah. And so love is definitely ever changing, but also I think love is just doing small things such as like, hey, like I know that like if you read the newspaper or something like that, like I'll keep this like their the section that they don't really like to read, have it right there for them. Something small to where it's not like a grand gesture, like, oh my gosh, like, this movie love people like to see.
Right,
like,
right.
Grand gesture, but just something that makes their quality of life better. But it doesn't have to be such a grand thing or has to even get like recognized or anything like that. So that's something that, at least for me anyways.
Yeah, that's a really cool idea. It's a really good analogy, I feel like, for looking at love and, how relationships are formed and, that they do change over time, especially when people, get married or have kids or, people divorce or, whatever. I mean, things happen in life. And I think it does, kind of shape, how we then express our love and affection for one another. So that makes complete sense. That's really cool.
Yeah. I guess the right term is a slut for a good analogy. So that's me 100%.
Yeah, that's perfect. I love it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for picking up the ball that Tim dropped.
Oh, yeah, of course. Timothy, it's your turn.
Oh, man, no, it was just like something I was like telling you when we talked about something similar to this the other day. The way I heard it one time was the way it was explained to me, like as far as like love, because I was listening to what you like how you guys were comparing it earlier, and it's crazy like trying to like put something solid, like create something solid from it, like what exactly like love is or whatever like that, because we can only assume or describe something this whole time.
That's love right there.
Love. Love in its purest form. Like you cannot shape this as you put it in a glass. But yeah, so it was just like you try and find these ways to be able to describe like what exactly like love is or whatnot. And you don't want to base it on feeling because like I said before, feelings change. And so it was just like, I love you because I feel this today. Tomorrow it's just like, so it's crazy. Just like it was like one of those solid things to where it's like whenever you said, what is your perception in love and all, just like actually sitting and thinking about it, because a lot of times we don't stop and think before we start like using the word and all, and then just saying like I love you and stuff like that. Like I love my mama. I know what it means in my head. Love my sister, brother, love my wife. But it's just like one of those things where you're just like, well, what is love, Tim? It is like you don't want to start off with, oh, it's when you feel, because then you're just like, eh.
Yeah, I mean,
so I think it's just really something that you know, and then it's like something that's so fragile that when you know, you have to continue to do whatever it is you're doing or get more creative to keep that know or whatever, like that sense of knowing, so you don't lose it or take it for granted, I should say.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you never want to take, your loved ones or people that you love for granted. Yeah, I mean, because it's just like, we were talking about, like, you show love. You can show love in many facets. Love doesn't have to be one specific thing. Love is not, it can be, but it doesn't have to be, oh, I bought this person a gift. I bought this person a car, a diamond necklace, this, whatever. That's not love. Maybe making them something is love for them. Maybe, doing their hair for them is love for them. Maybe just telling them a joke, spending time with them. Whatever you can input in that blank line, that is for you. And I think the beautiful thing about love is that, it is ever form. It is water, because the form of water changes. It can go from ice to gas. It can different glasses.
It can continually flow.
Yeah, exactly. So
Or
I mean, it's such a beautiful thing. It's like there are people who have fears of it. Literally, there's people who are afraid of love, just like people who are afraid of water and swimming in the ocean, because love can be such a grand gesture, like the ocean, so huge, so many different. You know, you don't like we feel like we know what it is, but we still haven't discovered 75% of the ocean, something like that. And I kind of equate that to love, because I mean, you think that you know what it is, but then when you're going through it and having a different experience with a different partner, like you discover so much more that you haven't even thought that you discovered yet. And so, this is definitely not an easy question. It's not something it's easy to put into words, but it's just trying to best put it or sum it up into a statement, or at least just really kind of just how you feel.
it's definitely a choice over a feeling. It was like when you choose to like love someone or whatnot, it's like taking the good and the bad. It was just like, today's a great day. We'd have a great day together. Tomorrow's gonna be some shit. But hey, it's up to you to keep rekindling that and treating that how you want it to, so you can keep having like that sense that you feel like every day and stuff, and not just like letting that burn out, because once that happens, it's just like you're just basing it on feelings. Something you said earlier, let me try and see if I can wrap back around to it. Whenever like people that are afraid of love, it's funny. Like I think it's more that feeling, like whenever you're on like a roller coaster and you're about to go down, and then like your chest like has that butterfly feel. That's what that's what they can feel or whatever like that when they feel love. But it also brings anxiety, and that's what they don't like, is the anxiety part, because you feel vulnerable and whatever the case may be in between that. And so I think and that's the part that I was talking about. Is it's like whenever you like base it all on feelings and stuff, you can get caught up in this roller coaster, and then once you're tired of it, you want to get off or whatever like that. But it's just like one of those things where you have to choose to rekindle that every day and stuff. And some days the devil don't make me a glass of water, and I know I still love her. I just gotta get my ass up and get my own water.
True. So, do you think? Let me form this right. Do you think there's a one universal thing that love has with everyone? Or do you think it's just so many different variables that it might not be there for everyone, but there's, something there that equates to the love?
Again, not basing it on feelings, but basing it on option. The option to keep it new is what everyone has the choice of whenever they step into that water of loving someone or something, like family, pet, whatever like that. Because again, you can fall out of feelings or whatever like that, but every day, like if there's something that if you had a dog and stuff like that, and it's like it hypes you up every day, you choose to love that dog every day. You can choose to hate that dog if you want to, and it's just like it's a choice that you choose to like make every day, and centering that person in your life to where you appreciate them. They make you happy. They genuinely make you happy.
So I guess my final question is, what do you choose to love every day?
So that's easy. Taco. I'm sorry. No, it's definitely one of those. It's Adele and our son Jax, and of course, like my mama, because I'm a mama's boy and stuff like that. And this is like It's a choice. I call my mom every day. Keep our relationship tight or whatever like that. Call pops every day. It's just like love, like in different forms and stuff. Is because whenever it's not even like family, it could be like something you do every day that it doesn't necessarily have to be love, but it's something that makes you happy. But wrapping back around, something that I choose to love every day is my son and my wife, among the rest of.
Nice. You can say that you're just one big family guy. Awesome. I love it. He said it. He said the thing. He's like, oh my God, I love when they say the episode, the title of the show in the thing. Like, oh, he did the thing.
Charles definitely did it. He was just like, I need to figure out where I'm going to insert this. And you're one big family guy. Gonna go right there.
He did it. He did it.
And cut.
Ooh, you stink.
It's like Rotten Tomatoes, like for real.
Yeah.
Oh,
awesome.
Man.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for Adele as well, for you both giving me, actually, that's pretty awesome because, getting both sides of the coin in a marriage, especially two married people, that was awesome. You kind of see a little bit of perspective. I love it.
Yeah, it was that my part was definitely hijacked, but it was hijacked by someone that knew what they were talking about while I was checking Webster's thesaurus.
I mean, it's perfect dynamic.
No shame about it.
No, it's perfect. I mean, she helped you stall for time and then give you some more ammo as well. I mean, it's a perfect duo right there.
This is like, because originally I checked Wikipedia and it was just like, you can't rely on that source. So I was just like, all right, resort back to something else. And I found Webster and I was like, he's legit.
Sweet.
I appreciate you for having us on the show.
Of course, man. Anytime. Got to keep family on here.
Well, I think I want to answer your question in the form of advice, kind of.
Go for it.
So I would say the only way you are going to find out what love is to just go for it for anything, even if it's not what you want at the time. Like if you feel you want something, like just go for it, because you're going to find out what you need and what you want through the process. You have to trust the process and let it happen. You have to go through like horrible heartbreaks. You have to go through, I think, multiple relationships. I know there's a lot of people out there that find their one soulmate, and I think that's awesome. And I'm really jealous of that. But I really love how I've gotten multiple experiences, and I feel like I have been growing to like the ultimate love from each experience. I think out of each of them, I've learned what I want, what I need, what makes me happy, and what I'm willing to do to make the other person happy. And I think that's, at the end of the day, how you're going to find your happiest, most genuine love, I guess. Not saying it can't happen any other way, but that's just from my own experience and my advice from me to you.
That's awesome. I love it.
Okay.
That's beautiful. I mean, like I said, like we said before, like it's your perception of it. It's your experience, and every experience is different.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's great advice, because there's a lot of people who are scared to do it and experience it, because it is scary.
Right.
It is scary, but it's also awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's also, you experience things that you've never done before, but you make that leap and now you know.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay, thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for listening all around the world. I love you guys so much. You don't even understand how much I appreciate you guys. If you don't already, go ahead and follow me on IG at CJT Creations. Go ahead and leave a comment on one of my posts and just say, hey, I'm from the podcast. Let me know. We found out a lot of awesome things in that clip just now that, you learn a lot from people who are in different perspectives, whether they're married in long-term relationships or single. Like you get a different perspective, and you want to have as many perspectives as possible in life to kind of get you to form a educated decision, and just to learn, and to have more knowledge as well. So hopefully this episode provided some of that for you guys, some insight, some maybe some advice as well. I hope you digged it. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll do some more stuff like this to where I get, we'll reach out to different people and see what they're thinking. We'll pose another question, because I love questions. I went into this completely not knowing what I was going to get, but I was excited. And I hope you guys are excited that, this episode's out, and I hope you guys listen to it, tell a friend, help us grow here, and let's do the damn thing. One more thing before we leave and before we wrap it up. Check out Inside the Vibe S2 playlist on Spotify. Currently it's only on Spotify. Add it to your library. Listen to it, stream it, because I'm on the quest to finding 1,000 new artists this year. And I'm going to keep looking and searching. I'm going to keep updating it as I find new artists I really like and dig. And then we're going to vibe together. And let me know what you guys think. And tell me, you like it? Do you not like it? What is your favorite songs on the playlist? Interact with me. And let's do the damn thing. I'm super excited. Season 2 is going to be phenomenal. So much awesome content for you guys. But until then, I want to say thank you to Tim, Adele, Kimberly, and Jonathan for helping out on this episode. And we'll catch you guys next time. And stay creative, my friends. Peace out.